Act 1 begins in 16th century Messina, Italy. Leonato, a well-respected gentleman, lives at his estate with his daughter Hero and niece Beatrice. A messenger brings him a letter saying that a group of soldiers are returning home from war. The soldiers arrive at the estate and frenemies, Benedict and Beatrice, reunite. Leonato offers his home to the head soldier, Don Pedro, and his men. Meanwhile, soldier Claudio has fallen head over heels for Leonato's daughter, Hero. Don Pedro wants to help Claudio win Hero over, so they devise a plan to have Don Pedro pretend to be Claudio at the masquerade ball later in the evening, so he can sweet-talk Hero and make her fall in love with Claudio. However, Don John, who is also Margaret later on, Don Pedro's evil brother, and his sidekick Conrad, who is also Ursula later on, want to ruin this plan because Don John is jealous of Don Pedro and hates to see anyone happy.
I learn in this letter that Don Pedro, Prince of Aragon, comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Pedro hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro, Prince of Aragon.
I pray you, is Signor Mutanto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady.
What is he that you ask for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned and as pleasant as he ever was.
I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars?
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much. But he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not. You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
He wears his faith but as the fashion of his hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady, the gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion?
He is in the company of the right and noble Claudio.
Oh, he will hang upon him like a disease, if he hath caught the Benedict. God help the noble Claudio.
I will hold friends with you, lady. Don Pedro is approached.
What, my dear Lady Disdain? Are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she has such suitable food to feed it as Signor Benedict?
It is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted.
A dear happiness to women. I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
Signor Claudio and Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonato hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at least a month.
Let me bid you welcome. I owe you all duty.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato? In mine eyes she's the sweetest lady that I ever looked upon.
I hope you have no intent to turn husband. Have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
It's come to this? Shall I never see a bachelor of a 30 again?
What secret hath held you here that you follow not to Leonato's?
He's in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonato's short daughter.
If this were so, then so it were uttered.
Like the old tale, my lord. It was not so. 'Twas not so. But indeed, God forbid it should be so.
If my passion change not shortly, then God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen. If you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
That a woman conceived me. I thank her that she brought me up, so I likewise give her the most humble thanks. But I will do myself the right to trust none. I will live a bachelor, and so I leave you.
If thou dost love fair hero, cherish it. I know we shall have revelling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair hero I am Claudio. I will unclasp my heart and take her hearing prisoner, and the conclusion is she shall be thine.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you so out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that causes it. Therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I've heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a pleasant remedy, at least a patient sufferance.
I cannot hide when I am. I must be sad when I've cause, and smile at no man's jest. Sleep when I'm drowsy, and tend on no man's business. Eat when I've stomach, and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I'm merry, and claw no man in his humor.
You have late stood out against your brother Don Pedro, and he hath taken you newly into his grace, where it is impossible to take true root, but by the fair weather that you bring yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I'd rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. In this, though, it cannot be said that I'm a flattering honest man. It must not be denied, but I'm a plain-dealing villain. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am. I seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only.
Before meeting thou here, I came yonder from a great supper, where your brother Don Pedro is being royally entertained by Leonato, and I heard it agreed upon that I can give you an intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? Who is he for a fool that bedroths himself to unquietness?
Mary, it's your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
A proper squire, and who? Which way looks he?
Mary on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
A very forward marked sick. How came this to you?
At the estate comes me, your brother, and Claudio hand in sad conference. I heard it agreed upon that Don Pedro should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You are sure, and will assist me?
Troth, my lord.
We begin Act 2 with the masquerade ball. Don Pedro, pretending to be Claudio, dances with Hero. The town gossip tries to sweet-talk Margaret, one of Hero's ladies-in-waiting. Ursula, Hero's other lady-in-waiting, dances with Leonato, who tries to convince her that he is not himself. Beatrice speaks poorly of Benedict to her dance partner, not knowing that her dance partner is, indeed, Benedict. Afterwards, Don John sets his evil plan in motion by getting the town gossip to tell Claudio that Don Pedro is in love with Hero, and has made her fall in love with him, not Claudio. Once back inside the estate, Claudio mopes around, heartbroken. Don John barges in and tells everyone that his brother is an evil love thief. However, Don Pedro clears this up very quickly, sending Don John into a fit of rage. Hero and Claudio can now be together, and wedding preparations begin. Don Pedro comes up with a new scheme to get Beatrice and Benedict together, because everyone knows that although they would never admit it, they're in love. The men, knowing that Benedict is listening, say that Beatrice is in love with him, causing him to re-examine his feelings for her.
company, your wish is mine to honor, lady.
Which is one?
I speak in my sleep.
I love you the better.
I know you well enough. You are Signor Leonato.
At a word, I am not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit him.
You could never do him so ill well unless you weren't the very man. Here's his right hand up and down. You are he, you are he.
At a word, I am not.
Come, come. Do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to mom, you are he, graces will appear, and there's an end.
That I was disdainful, and that I had my good wit out of the 100 merry tales. Well, this is Signor Benedict that said so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Not I, believe me.
He is but the prince's jester, a very dull fool. Why, his own men love nothing better than to mock him when his back is turned.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
There, Count Claudio, thou must address him as Signor Benedict and plant a rotten seed in his head.
Are not you Signor Benedict?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, have you heard? Don Pedro is very much enamored on Hero.
How know you that he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
Thus answer I, in the name of Benedict. But hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so, the prince woos for himself. Farewell, therefore, hero.
Now, Signor, where is the Count? Did you see him?
Troth, my lord, I've played the part of Lady Fame. I found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren.
Speaking of melancholy, was it not the Lady Beatrice I saw you with just now? I'm told she hath a quarrel with you.
She told me, not thinking I'd been myself, that I was the princess jester, that I was duller than a great thaw. Come, talk not of her. You shall find her for infernal. For certainly, while she is here, a man may live as quiet beside Hades as in a sanctuary.
Look, here she comes.
Will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the antipodes, and I will fetch you a toothpicker from the horizon. Have you no employment for me?
None but to desire your good company.
Oh God, sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue.
I have brought Count Claudio, whom he sent me to seek.
Why, how now, Count? Wherefore are you sad?
The Count is neither sad, nor sick, nor merry, nor well. Something of the jealous complexion.
But of course he is. My brother, the prince, is nothing more than a petty thief, taking the good hero for himself. That buggery as ever was committed.
Lady, I think this to be true. Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair Hero is won for thine hand. Name the day of marriage, and joy to thee.
Count, take me of my daughter, and with her my fortunes.
Speak, Count. 'Tis your cue.
Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours.
Niece, will you look to the arrangements?
By your grace's pardon, I will take my leave. There is much to ready.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady, but she cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedick.
Oh, Lord, my lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
I think Benedict would turn mad at the mention of marriage.
Come. You all may shake your heads, but I have just now set my mind to bring Signor Benedick and Lady Beatrice into a happy affection for each other.
My lord, I would give up 10 nights sleeping to see that. I am with you.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle Hero.
I will do any modest office to help my cousin to a good husband.
I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedick. And I, with your 2 helps, will so practice on Benedick that he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me, and I will tell you my drift.
Boy,
Signor?
in my chamber window lies a book of my hand. Bring it hither to me from the orchard.
As you wish, sir.
Sit, boy, and read my words aloud. I wish to ponder.
I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool, when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio.
Go on, then.
May I be so converted and see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me into an orchid. But I'll take my oath on it. Till he have made an oyster of me, he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another wise, yet I am well. Another yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace.
Truth. Only truth.
Will that be all, Signor?
Indeed, be off with you. Ha! The prince, Signor Leonato, and Monsieur Love. I will hide me in the arbor.
Come hither, Leonato. What was it you told me today that your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedick?
Oh, I. Stock on, the fowl sits. I did never think that she would have loved any man.
No, nor I either. But seems so wonderful that she should dote on Signor Benedick, whom she hath all outward behaviors seemed ever to abhor.
Is it possible?
I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection.
Bait the hook well, and the fish will bite.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedick?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go seek Benedick and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, my lord, for I love Benedick well, and wish he would modestly examine himself to see how unworthy he is, such a good lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner's ready.
This can be no trick. They have the truth of this from Hero. Love me? I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. They say the lady's fair. 'Tis the truth, I can bear them witness. When I said I would die as a bachelor, I did not think I would live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day she's a fair lady. Do spy some marks of love in her.
Against my will, I'm sent to bid you come into dinner.
Ha! Against my will, I'm sent to bid you to come into dinner. There's double meaning in that.
Act 3 begins with the ladies performing their part of Don Pedro's scheme to get Beatrice and Benedict together. Just as the men did to Benedict, the women, knowing Beatrice is listening, say that Benedict is in love with her, causing her to re-examine her feelings for him. Benedict mopes around, tormented by love. His melancholy assures Claudio and Don Pedro that their plan has worked. He is in love. Hero and her ladies prepare for the wedding, debating over what to wear. Hero and Claudio have their wedding, concluding one of our love stories. As for the other, Beatrice and Benedict finally confront each other, and the truth comes out.
Margaret, run thee to parlour. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice. Whisper her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchards, and our whole discourse is all of her. I understand, good hero. When I find her, I'll whisper in her ear that you and Ursula walk in the orchard, and her whole discourse will be all of her. I will bid her come hither, I warrant you. Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, our talk must only be of Benedict. When I do name him, that it be thy part to praise him.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my own Claudio.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madame?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them. She cannot love. She is so self indeed.
And therefore it were not good if she knew his love, for she make a sport at it. I pray you not be angry with me, madame, but Signor Benedict hath an excellent good name, and is sure much more deserving than of the Lady Beatrice. I warrant you, we have caught her, madame.
If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
What fire is in mine ears? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band.
Gallants, I'm not if I've been.
So say I. Methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
I have a toothache.
Yet say I, he is in love.
The greatest note of it is his melancholy. Conclude, he is in love.
Hero, Margaret, and Ursula have by now played their parts with Beatrice.
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise,
I will, lady.
and bid her come hither. Troth, I think the other collar were better. No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this. By my troth, 'tis not so good, I warrant you, your cousin will say so. My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I will wear none but this. I like the new attire if the hair were a thought browner. Your dress is a most rare fashion in faith. I saw the Duchess of Milan's dress that they praise so, with gold sleeves, side cuts, and down sleeves, and skirts well underborne, but fine, quaint, graceful, and excellent fashion. Yours is worth 10 of it. It would give me much joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy. 'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man. Good morrow, coz.
Good morrow, fair hero. 'Tis almost 5 o'clock, coz. 'Tis time you were ready.
Help to dress me, good coz. Good Meg.
Come, come, Friar Francis. Make not the young lovers wait any longer.
Yes, Signor. You come hither, my lord, to be married to this lady?
I do.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count?
I do.
If either of you have any word impediment about why you shall not be conjoined, I charge you on your souls to utter it.
None, friar.
Then I do pronounce thee man and wife.
Where is Beatrice?
I answer to that name.
Do not you love me?
Why, no. No more than reason.
Why then, your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do not you love me?
Troth, no, more than reason.
Why then, my cousin, Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis such no matter. Then you do not love me?
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, come, cousin. I am sure you love the gentleman.
I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her, for here in my hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain, fastened to Beatrice.
And here's another written in Lady Beatrice's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedick.
A miracle. Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by the slight I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, partially to save your own life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace.
Come, come, friends, let's have a dance ere they are married, that they may lighten their own hearts and their wives' heels. Let us revel in the youthful glow of love. Strike up, pipers.